Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NatureCity podcast. I'm Carl Pradelli, your host, and also the CEO and co-founder of NatureCity. My wife, Beth, and I started the company over 20 years ago, and since that time, we've had the pleasure of serving about 500,000 customers by offering them the best dietary supplements we could make. So in this week's episode, we're going to discuss Resveratrol, which is sometimes called the red wine antioxidant. I will tell you right from the outset, I've kind of had a love-hate relationship with Resveratrol over the years. You know, when I first heard about it, and this goes back about 20 years, I was pretty excited about it. You know, I enjoyed red wine and said, wow, red wine could be healthy because of this thing called Resveratrol. That's terrific. And the problem was when it first rose to prominence, it was way overhyped. You know, it was frequently touted as the new fountain of youth. You know, I remember old advertisements from companies, saying crazy things like, their Resveratrol can help you live to 125 years old or live 42% longer while still eating loads of cheese and breads and cream sauces and desserts. Well, obviously none of that was true, right? And I think it really hurt the perception of Resveratrol for many years. And it was because of this, and also another thing we'll talk about in a second in terms of where Resveratrol comes from, that I kind of soured on it for many years. But without getting to the punchline, I will tell you I'm excited about it again. And part of that is because of a very specific brand of Resveratrol that's pretty much the purest thing I've seen. And they've also done some incredible research to support why we should all be taking it. So we'll get into that a little bit. Fortunately, even though I soured on it, fortunately, researchers kind of persisted and continued to investigate potential benefits of Resveratrol. I believe to date, there's been over 200 human clinical studies done showing how it can maybe help us live better and help us in multiple different ways. So what makes Resveratrol unique, right? I mean, there's plenty of plant antioxidants out there. You may take some of them already. What makes Resveratrol unique is that it also works in separate ways at the cellular level, helping cells survive and live longer, right? In particular, it helps activate a protein called SIRT1, right? Belongs to the sirtuin family, SIRT1, and then an enzyme called AMPK. By activating these two substances in our bodies, they help regulate cellular energy, help protect the cell mitochondria, which are basically the cell powerhouses, and really just promote cellular longevity. And it was for these reasons why everyone went crazy. Well, I should say everyone, but many companies and many marketers went crazy with Resveratrol 20 years ago with all these claims, right? If cells could live longer, well, that means our organs will stay healthy and we'll all live indefinitely, right? Again, unfortunately, that's a little unrealistic and, of course, untrue. So let's talk a little bit about, before we talk about what is true with respect to the potential benefits of Resveratrol, let's talk about the other challenge, I think, with Resveratrol as a supplement that I kind of was alluding to earlier. You may find surprising that even though Resveratrol is called the red wine antioxidant, it doesn't come from grapes, or wine grapes when used as a supplement. It's funny, the amount of Resveratrol in a bottle of wine is actually really small. I think a bottle of wine generally only has about 1 to 2 milligrams of Resveratrol, which isn't a heck of a lot. So to the extent, red wine has some health properties, it's probably, Resveratrol may be contributing a little bit to it, but there's obviously a lot more going on. So Resveratrol in the supplements that you see for sale actually typically comes from a plant called Japanese knotweed. Okay, and most often this is sourced from not from Japan, but from China. That's where generally it's grown, for the use of supplements. So the challenge with Japanese knotweed, which again is the source of resveratrol in most supplements, is it contains a substance called emodin, which is an anthraquinone, which can cause gastrointestinal discomfort when you ingest it. So that's one problem, and that's why you hear a lot of people who take resveratrol, they feel there's, it gives them an upset stomach or maybe some other diarrhea or other problem that we don't want. And then there are other potential impurities, including things which are abbreviated as PAHs. The PAH stands for polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Say that 3 times fast. So the good news is, in recent years, a better, more pure form of resveratrol has emerged. It's called Verity, and it's naturally fermented from baker's yeast, right? They take baker's yeast, use some sugar, some other vitamins, ferment it, and the end product is a 98% pure trans resveratrol, which is great because we don't have all the issues with Japanese knotweed in terms of impurities, and certainly not the things that cause gastrointestinal discomfort. What's more interesting to me is with Verity resveratrol, this fermented resveratrol, they've shown that you only need 150 milligrams a day to experience benefits, right? So it's 150 milligrams. So you take it 75 milligrams twice a day. It's best to take resveratrol in 2 separate servings because it's rapidly metabolized in the body and has a relatively short half-life. So by taking 2 separate servings, you help maintain a modest amount of resveratrol in your blood, hopefully at all times. So taking, and it's interesting with Verity, they kind of showed me some work they did where they kind of looked at taking 150 milligrams a day, 300 milligrams a day, or 600 milligrams a day, and what the effects were on, it was called cerebral blood flow, basically blood flow in the brain, okay? And the results of 150 milligrams, the smallest amount, were actually superior or basically similar to the larger amounts. So again, it's nice just from a cost perspective that with this pure resveratrol, you can get take lesser amounts and still get the benefits you're seeking. So let's talk about some of the benefits we've seen specifically with Verity resveratrol, because I think they're pretty interesting. The first one falls in the category of brain health and cognitive function. Okay, supplementing with Verity resveratrol can help support memory and cognitive function, right? The way it works, again, is obviously the antioxidant properties, but also promoting blood flow in the brain. That's cerebral blood flow, which just like blood flow in other parts of the body helps improve the function. Okay, so we saw in the clinical in the scientific studies, we were able to see improvements in various aspects of memory as well as overall cognitive function, which is great as we age, right? Another one, which is kind of surprising, because I never had heard it associated with resveratrol previously, was helping with bone health, right? Specifically helping maintain bone density. And the way it apparently works is just helping your body, just helping support your body in bone formation, new bone formation. Okay, one recent study, and this was frankly, in my opinion, one of the best studies ever done with resveratrol. It was like a 2-year study with over 100 postmenopausal women, and the way the study was structured was it was a crossover design. So basically, for 1 year, people took either the product, the Verity resveratrol, or placebo, and the second year they reversed, right? So the ones who took the resveratrol in the first year were taking the placebo in the second year. I think scientists don't like this design because people almost act as their own control group. So really well done study that produced a lot of really interesting results. But it's also interesting that with respect to bone health and Verity, they've also done work with men too. So, I know we often think of bone health as being a woman's issue, but, it also impacts men also. And, Verity resveratrol has been shown to support men as well as women. And in this 2-year study I was referring to earlier, what was nice, it showed that taking 150 milligrams a day, so that means 75 milligrams twice a day, 150 milligrams in total, actually was able to help to slow down the bone density loss at both the spine and the neck, which, as you may know, are common fracture sites. So, with the help of the Resveratrol, there was a reduction in the loss in natural loss in bone density that was experienced, which is great. I had not seen that before with Resveratrol. Another way Verity can help you, the Resveratrol may help you, is with blood sugar metabolism. Okay. In healthy adults, it's been shown to basically support the body's use of, insulin, which transports glucose from blood to cells. Basically, resveratrol has been shown to help support insulin in doing that. I guess improve insulin efficiencies was the way they described it. Again, nice in terms of our ability to maintain, blood sugar, healthy blood sugar as we age. And finally, one that I found a benefit I found really interesting was the ability to promote overall quality of life in women, postmenopausal women. Again, referring to that 2-year study again. Pretty interesting stuff because it really helped support women's mood, reduce sleep disturbances, pretty important, reduce the perception of discomfort, and frankly, just increase their feelings of overall well-being, right? And again, that was just 150 milligrams a day of this Verity Resveratrol. Given all the work that's been done so far, we decided to use Verity in our TrueResveratrol supplement at NatureCity. It contains the exact same dosages used in these studies. So each bottle contains 60 75 milligram capsules of Verity Resveratrol, and you take 2 a day, just like they did in a lot of these scientific studies we've been discussing. And it's a really exciting product. I am back now in love with Resveratrol thanks to Verity Resveratrol. So you can go check it out. There's a link in the show notes to our TrueResveratrol page on our website. If you want to call us, we're always available to help you and discuss potential how TrueResveratrol may help you in your life. So that's it for this week's episode. As always, please like and subscribe to see or hear future episodes of the NatureCity podcast. And this is Carl Pradelli, and I will see you next week.